Hello everybody, and welcome to this last Q&A of 2020. I am very happy that you are here. My name is Nora Zimmerman, and I am a soul brand and website designer. And today I'm simply answering questions. Any questions that may help you move your business online, that may help you have an active online presence, get more clients, anything that comes up for you today, I'll do my best to answer. I am based in the UK. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I look forward to being of service to you. So the first thing I'd love to do is to hear who you are, where you're based, and what you do, basically, and maybe your question. And just, go ahead and share, when you're ready. Yes, Lavinia, go.
Hello, I'm Lavinia. I live in Essex. I'm currently unemployed. I'm very interested in soul-led business ideas. I'm thinking about the possibility of starting down this route. So I don't really have any idea how to begin. That's why I'm here, to see if I can get some ideas about how to start.
Brilliant. And did you have anything in mind that you wanted to start with?
I'm currently doing the Divine Healing Master Key training.
Okay.
So I'm looking towards maybe the end of the summer. So this is a preparation period.
Great. Fantastic. So
I'm currently unemployed, so yeah.
Perfect time to plant all the seeds.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So
Thank you.
Think by the end of the summer, you're going to be doing the level 4. You're going to be completing level 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lovely. Perfect. Good to know. All right. Okay. Welcome. Who else would like to say who they are? This is good practice. Who you are, where you're based. A bit like the elevator pitch, if you are familiar with
I'll give my elevator pitch a shot then, which is usually awful.
Go on, this is just practice ground.
Yeah, okay. Well, the difficulty lies for me in the fact that I have been on a very steep trajectory for the last 18 months or so. So who I am is changing constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for the client, it must be a bit like trying to hit a moving target.
Mm.
And so for me to say, what is it I do, is actually quite difficult. But I think, because I've done the soul contract training, I've been into human design for about 10 years. But what has always attracted me to people is what makes them tick. What is their root, their passion, their foundation. Mm-hmm. And so I'm very good at being the listener to help people to unload, and by their own volition, when they hear themselves speak, they are then able to start connecting the dots to who they really are, not who they think they are, and to help them to align that with their potential, what they're here for, and what their business is. And when all components are aligned, bingo. But the thing I've had difficulty with is the moving target thing. Now, I'm actually very good at being a troubleshooter. Mm-hmm. But if you write that word down, as I've tested it out for a while on my website, people can't relate to it. They don't know what that means. And yet, if you're in an active business role, you do know what it means. So if people are not running a business yet, it wouldn't mean anything to them. But if they are running a business and there's a pace, a momentum to keep going, then they trip and they think, I need somebody now. I'd be that good person now. But then you have to know about it already, don't you?
So what kind of troubleshooting do you do? And welcome, Alex. If you can put your camera on, that'd be brilliant. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, tell us. Hi.
Sorry,
hi.
I'm sorry I'm late. I had a work meeting that ran over.
No problem. I can't see you just yet. I think your camera is not.
Yeah,
showing.
I need to see if I can connect it. Just bear with.
That's fine. Just take your time to settle in while we're all introducing ourselves. All right. So just tell me, what do you troubleshoot for? You know, with people, so I can get a little bit more of an idea what it is that you troubleshoot.
It can be either with their message or with the alignment with who they are. So
Right.
I can listen to what somebody says about themselves, and I can distill that into the words for their website. Whereas,
Right.
as we know, it's quite difficult to do that for yourself sometimes.
Right. Okay. So a bit of words master.
Yeah. I like as few.
Really relate to that. Sorry.
As few words as possible.
Yeah. So a words mastery is coming to mind.
Yes. Precision.
Yes.
So that there's no vagueness. I like to eliminate vagueness.
Very good. So
and to be more direct, because it's not a very English way to be direct. People beat about the bush a lot.
very
more continental to be direct, and I like that.
All right. Good. Thank you and welcome, Angela.
Thank you.
So I'm going to read from the chat. Diane says, hi, I am Diane. I am in the UK. Just wondering how to start a business in coaching people. My offering is still much a work in progress right now. Okay, welcome. Just let me know if you have any qualifications, or, you know, have you done any coaching before, or this is just an idea. Diane is at work, so she's typing in, which is brilliant. Well done. Oh, okay. So informally. Okay. All right. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. So just listen in, Diane. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat. Just feel free to be with us. Hey, Alexandra or Alex. You need to unmute. Yeah, perfect. Hello, welcome.
Hi there, thank you.
Yeah, we're introducing ourselves. Just tell me, you know, who you are and what you do, where you're based.
So I'm Alexandra, but Alex is easier. I live in London, and my current job is an event manager. I work for a corporation in their events department, as in I am their events department. So just me.
Probably not happening right now, is it very much?
Well, it's pretty quiet at the moment, I have to say. Everything's kind of virtual and everybody's very screen weary. So it's quite a challenging landscape at the moment, as it is for everybody. Yes. But luckily I was not furloughed. So even though things are quiet, I've been very lucky that I've kept that job and kept full pay. So, you know, I'm very grateful for that. But I'm also currently on the practitioner course for systematic kinesiology. And yeah, hopefully, I think with a view in mind to change careers, stop the corporate game at some point, and shift into having a practice, a therapy practice. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, excellent. Thank you. So I just checked with everybody before. I am recording this. Are you okay with this to be recorded and then perhaps shared on YouTube and you know, just some of the marketing channels? I mean, I don't share heavily anyway. Is that okay with you?
Is it YouTube? Is it a public YouTube or is it a private?
It's public YouTube, but I mean, I don't promote my YouTube. But if you want to, you can definitely. I can pause when you are sharing, you know, when you're asking your questions. Just let me know.
It's okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, brilliant. So let's just start. Does anyone have a burning question so far? I know, Lavinia, you mentioned about basically how to start a business, you know, Do you want to tell me what you did before so I can get a little picture of how you came to do this training now?
I've always worked in print and publishing,
Right.
so it's very much office based.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just at a stage where I can launch myself in some direction.
Yes. Okay. All right. Perfect. So in a way, most of you are session based, and at the moment, there would be a combination of offering sessions in person and perhaps online, I suppose. So there's different steps, to organizing a business, so that people can basically know that you exist. The basic principle is to have a website. And, when you have a website, what it is in the old fashioned way, a website would be like a shop window. So, if people are walking on a high street, then they see the shop window and they'll either be simply attracted to go into the shop or repelled. Regardless of what they need, there is usually an instant, connection that sometimes goes beyond the need. There is sometimes a need as well. So for you, there is like a distinction there about answering to certain needs and also creating a connection. Okay, so those two things are very much, almost intertwined when you are creating an online presence. And this is super important for you to begin to tune in, because people need to connect to exactly who you are and what you offer on a professional level. And they also need to be, discouraged from connecting with you if they are not, the right client for you, or if you're not the right person for them. The main reason for this is simply because you need to stay in your, in your zone of genius. And the client will be definitely served much better by someone else. So honing exactly what you do and how you work and your own words to describe what you do is probably one of the most important things, even before you build a website. And it's a kind of, it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, especially those of you that are starting, And if you've been in the corporate world before, or if you still are in the corporate world, Diane, you are probably using words to express things that maybe they are not yours. They are just like how people speak and what I should be saying and how other people are expressing themselves. So that period of kind of investigating, the soul of your brand takes a little bit of time. The first recommendation is to go ahead to my website and download the videos, that I've done a while ago, and they are about soul brand alignment. And you can begin to tune in with that, because you will learn what it is that you do exactly. So for example, for me, in essence, people think that they're just coming to buy a website from me. But what really is happening is, they're coming for the soul brand alignment, and, maybe 6-7 years ago, I wasn't saying I was doing soul brand alignment. I was just saying, yeah, I can build a website for you. I've trained in graphic design. I worked in corporates in Procter & Gamble doing, graphics for 15 years. I know marketing, advertising, but that's not what I sell. What I sell is this, fine tuning alignment so that the online presence reflects the experience of being with you in person. Okay, so what you do in person with your clients needs to be almost 100% reflected online. And that is done, with the words, with the images. It's like a flavor, it's like an atmosphere that you begin to translate. Does this make sense so far? Yeah, okay, great. Any questions about these?
Yes, you were talking about wording,
Yes.
but and how to indicate who is not correct. But
Yes.
surely they would pick that up from the energy of the wording.
Yes, yes. So for example, on my website, I wanted to come up with words, and everything is a work in progress. This is something else that you need to understand. When you do your first website, it's going to be reflecting what you do at the very moment that you're creating it. And perhaps it will be valid for the next 6 months or for the next 3 years. Just depends how you move forward. If you're someone that is constantly evolving and changing, your website will become obsolete very soon. But if you're someone that is, fairly, stable and, is not constantly, acquiring skills, changing the methodology of the work, then, you're going to be, having to adjust it basically. And neither of those is wrong. So for example, at the moment, my website is quite dated. It still has a very corporate flavor, and it has a little bit of the energetic spirituality depth of inquiry that I do. And it just takes time to transition again, because, it's a big undertaking. Oh my God, do I have to do my website again, kind of thing. And I can see that there's a few problems as well. People can't find one thing, or they assume something that is not correct. There are always things happening when you have a website. But what happens is, once you create that first website and you've done all the writing, you described, okay, this is what I'm going to offer. This is service 1 and this is service 2. And I always recommend, when you're starting, to just have either 1 service or 2 services maximum, so that you don't get complicated, you don't get overwhelmed, and people feel relaxed when they come to the website. They're not having to almost choose. Also, because if you are in the business of helping people, which you all are, people that are either, in pain physically, or, they are confused with what they want to do. Say, for example, if you're going to be coaching, or they're trying to find their purpose, or, one of those options. The people this is very important as well. You need to put yourself in the shoes of someone that is basically in that situation, in pain, usually. And so they are not going to read long copy, long chunks of text on the website, they're not going to almost want to know an awful lot about you. They're going to want to make a first connection. Can she help me with this thing that I have? Yes, I like her. Okay, I'll read more about her. So there's a few things that are very basic that are on the homepage, which is always designed for the first timer. And all those things are always important, to be answered fairly quickly. I get people that book a call that they haven't really explored my website very much. They just go, yeah, I like these, I like that, and I just that I need to talk to you. So that's what you're aiming to do. You're aiming to create a connection, and you're aiming to respond to their needs. So it's very important. If you already have clients, do you have case studies and clients, you guys? You do, Alexandra. What about you, Lavinia? Do you have any clients?
No,
not yet.
At the moment, I'm only practicing on, other trainees.
Okay, so you're exchanging treatments.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, it will be good, even though, to get a little feedback, because Angela, for example, she knows very well. She said, I've got, I am succinct, I am precise, so she knows what she offers. There's a lot of clarity there. She just hasn't been able to put the words together of exactly what she offers, but the flavor of what she offers is clear. I can say that for me it's very similar. I am very much, what clients say about me is, they say, you're brief, you don't beat around the bush, you say things, that sometimes are a little bit, hard to take, but they are always, the right way. You're very experienced, they say. And they also say I'm very calm, which I don't know why or how, but yeah, they say that a lot. So someone described me as a quiet little ninja, basically. And I just thought. So you want to look for those descriptions. You want to find them out. So you can do a little bit of research, and ask, how, what can you use maybe 3 or 4 words to describe, the treatment you received from me, or how I work, or, just kind of make a series of questions that they are not, oh, you're phenomenal, because you don't want those kind of answers. You want them to use adjectives that describe who you are and what you do and the service you offer. Does that make sense? Does anyone want to share those adjectives? You probably have a flavor of those. Go on, I don't want to be the television. But you can also have a guess about what you think you offer.
So some feedback that I've had from a couple of people that I've treated has been that they feel very safe in just during the treatment, and just even just the time spent together. A couple of different people have said, I feel very safe talking to you, and I feel I really enjoy the time. So I'm not sure how that would translate to a description. Well, probably just that, I suppose. And also calm. That's something that some feedback I've heard before.
Okay. So that's very good. That means, that underneath, what that means is that they trust you. And that's huge. And it's important, that, do you ask them for feedback?
I haven't so far, no.
It will be good to have maybe a little email, even if you treated them a while ago, and you can say, look, I'm collecting, feedback, for my website that I'll be building very soon, or in the future. Do you mind answering a couple of questions, And the questions, it's important that they are specific, you can't just say, what did you think? The question could be, have I solved, the problem that you came with? Or, how did you feel before coming to the treatment? And how did you feel after coming to the treatment? Or, things that are a bit more specific, so people can give you answers. And also you need to ask, is it okay, if I share this on my marketing material and on my website? So you need to ask for permission. So maybe 2 or 3 questions, I'm just going to look at my feedback questionnaire just to give you inspiration. I can share my screen. Obviously, this is different because, I do projects, so my people are not in pain. It's very different to what you do. So it says the project name. Did you have any hesitations about working with me? If so, I'd love to know more. Sometimes people put things, I wasn't sure about this or about that. And what this does is it also helps you a lot to improve your services, because you think, oh, everybody is commenting the same issue kind of thing. Maybe they comment the pricing was unclear. And once you get 2 or 3 of the same comments, you need to fix your website, because that is a real issue. If there's only one person commenting about some kind of issue, you can kind of, pay attention. But if it comes up more than once, then it means, it's complicated for them, basically. So, I've asked what specific feature did you like best about the working process? Right, this question is $1 million in my business. People just go. They say so much. I love this and I love that and this and that. It's just like, the tap is open. So again, once you ask the questions a few times, you're going to see what questions are really important. So as a business owner, how have you benefited from working together? These two questions are really, really, really good. You know, they really get people to open. Then when they get here, they probably are a bit tired, and maybe I should remove 2 or 3 of these questions, you know, if I'm honest. But this is just to inspire you, you know, so you can see that the questions are constructed in a way that it makes sense, and it helps them and it helps me. It's not just, you know, these things are not just one way. Anyone else wanting to say words that describe, you know, who they are and how they work?
Yeah, very intuitive.
Yeah.
And good listener.
Yeah.
And I think the passion that I have helps them to feel confident about being carried along on the journey.
Say that again.
I think the passion that I have for my subject helps them to feel confident about being carried along on the journey, because I've done a lot of unraveling processes with individuals, you know,
Yes.
like a 4-step coaching process.
So would you say that what you do is a form of coaching that integrates some healing modalities?
Yes, because the process of unraveling could be described as healing.
Yes.
To me, it's very logical, but because it's never occurred to them, it doesn't fall under the bracket of logic.
Yeah, but I think, you know, you're touching on something really important, because you work in a very kind of pragmatic way and also in a very spiritual way. So I think that is your niche and that is your asset. You know, you look corporate almost, you know, like a flavor of you looking like office.
Yes.
And then there's probably like, whoa, the healing comes in as well.
Yes.
So that's going to be probably your absolute, you know, niche. You know, it probably is quite similar to me. You know, I look a bit formal, but then, you know, all the spirituality comes through, you know, when we're working. You know, people, you know, have deep feelings and they pop off, and, you know, there's a lot more kind of under what the appearances are.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, for you to begin to describe yourselves, you know, as a coaching, you know, as a coach, you know, the thing is the word coach is a little bit overused.
I know.
So, you know, you might want to Google, you know, other words that are not exactly coach. You know, it can be a guide, it can be a companion, it can be all sorts of things, you know, but just make a word that is very, very familiar to people. I wouldn't discard the word coach, because what kind of clients do you get? Are they corporate?
Some are, but mostly the connections are what I've made personally. So I might just answer somebody's message if I'm in a group or something, and it's like that full-on connection was made and they respond without hesitation. However, if it's on a broad platform and I'm trying to write something that encourages a bit of interest and some engagement, that's much more difficult. And, you know, I've found that I can only write or only get engagement with people if I'm in a certain space as I'm writing. So I'm really tuned into what's coming through. Heartfelt. It's got to be heartfelt. Otherwise it falls flat.
People, you know, it's like we've talked quite a bit and I'm still unclear about what you do.
Exactly.
So
that's my dichotomy.
Right. Okay. So you need to tell me more. So tell me exactly what happens. If I want to work with you, what happens?
Okay. What happens?
Briefly.
Is I will help you to gain some clarity and reconnect with the foundation of who and where you are.
Yes.
Using a couple of tools that I use, like soul contract reading and human design.
Right.
And intuition.
Got it. That's it. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't ramble on about the tools.
No, you mustn't, because that's probably not going to be how people come through to you. It's not that they come and I think people come for the whole package. They come for the whole holding that you offer rather than the technique that you use.
I noticed that recently, actually. A girl rang me up and we had a long conversation, highly intelligent, another therapist, and because she already knows about human design, she was saying, well, at first, I want your package. And then I said, yeah, but you don't need it. You don't need the whole thing. You maybe need one session to actually tidy things up.
Mhm.
And she couldn't relate to that, so she's kind of backed off.
Mm.
But
What's the whole package? This is
the whole-
important for everybody, packaging.
okay, the whole package, the first stage is the unraveling, where I sit and listen most of the time and ask them pertinent questions that directs the conversation in very specific ways.
Right. So how many sessions is the package?
4. It
Okay.
was 5, but then I took it back 1 because I thought, no, we can do this in 4.
Right.
And I'm always trying to minimize what people have to outlay or the time it takes. You know, I don't want to string people along.
Okay.
That has the most impact because it's the fodder for the rest of the process.
Totally. Yes. Yes.
And it helps to connect them with the roots of where they came from.
Mm.
And often there are fundamental flaws that, if unaddressed, it forms a rift throughout everything else they try and lay on top.
Yes.
And this is always the message I'm trying to get along to people, is that you've got to attend to the roots. So then the next session is the soul contract reading, where again, I'm starting to join up the purpose of their journey, why they're here, to what they've already gone through. Human design describes the vehicle, this vehicle that they're traveling that journey on. And then the final session, I've so far been channeling something, and it can be something quite amazing that comes through, that things I don't know anything about in their life. And it just ties everything together.
Okay.
It's a heck of a lot of material and they need to digest it.
Yeah, it sounds very clear to me.
Yeah.
And it sounds very clear what you offer too. Have you written this all down anywhere?
Yes, it's on my website.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think there's kind of any lack of clarity here. It feels very clean and very clear to me.
Yeah. I think the thing is that I'm always shifting up and down. And I think that when people try and tune into me through the website, they're not sure what they're picking up.
Right. Okay.
And I think that's part of
that. Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay.
That's
so
the nature of
you either need a website review or you need a new website. I haven't got your website in front of me and I'm not going to look at that now. But, you know, there's probably a misalignment between who you are in essence, regardless of, you know, all the transformations and all the processes that you do, you know, like you were saying, you know, your roots are not being shown on the website. And that's what you're saying perhaps is happening.
I've been working on it. It's much closer now than it's ever been.
Brilliant.
But I don't know if I'm quite getting that ring, you know?
Yeah. Well, if we have time today, I can have a quick look. But I also want to answer other people's questions as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Any questions on anything? Please do unmute yourself if you want to ask anything. Okay, this is unusual. Everybody quiet.
I'll ask a question.
Yes.
I completely understand and can make sense of the concept of really honing in on essentially who you are, you know, that kind of soul message that you're putting out there online. And what you described at the beginning here, I've written most of it down. And as I was writing, I was thinking, oh yeah, this makes so much sense, just to be very clear and put it out there. And the people that are right, if that's the right word to use, the right clients will be drawn to you, and those that are not right for you will, will not be drawn to you, and hence that creates the success, I guess, in your business. How does one get from being very kind of wanting to be eclectic and open to lots of different experiences and people, to becoming very particular about what one's gifts are, I suppose, or what one's soul alignment is with what one does? And what's your advice on getting there? Because personally, I know I have a tendency to be a bit of a people pleaser, and I recognize that in myself, and on lots of levels I know it's a decent quality, but of course it's not necessarily a useful one when it comes to creating the right boundaries, I suppose, with myself and what I want, and creating the right landscape in which to really get clear. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And I'm just wondering what's I mean, I meditate, I make sure that I write things down, I get my thoughts clear for myself often. I try and get into my body a lot and listen to my heart and that kind of thing, and really approach things from that direction as well. I just wondered if there's any other advice or guidance that you could give.
Yeah, it's a really good question. So experience is obviously the mother of all things, because you're going to be practicing with people and you're going to be having to attune yourself to how you feel, not just trying to achieve the best results for them, but also how you feel. I get meetings, where people book a clarity call with me, and the minute they come on screen, I feel that I'm not a good match for them, literally in seconds. And nowadays I can say, look, I don't think, I'm going to be able to help you. Some people can get upset, but it is really good to get to that place. But that only comes from feeling confidence in what you offer and feeling confidence in what you cannot offer. It's not because the other person is wrong. It's just because, for example, I am very collaborative. So I'm not going to be a very good designer for someone that wants, a lot of one-to-one, and they want all the time my opinion, answering them all the questions, because I am here to almost extricate their soul words. I'm here to kind of hold the container for them to, birth their website. Yes, I build a website and I design it, but it's a very collaborative effort. If they don't put the work in, we're not a good match. And the people that want me to move it to the right, move it to the left, oh, can you make it green? Can we try it in blue, please? Oh, I don't like that. It just becomes, the designers that absolutely love that. They love that. I'm not one of those ones. So, I can tell if someone is going to be like that within seconds. It's just I feel their energy on the screen. And this is really important as well. We live at the moment in a situation where we're having to work permanently on screen. So you need to feel the energy of the people on the screen. And you need to also make them feel that you are connected with them. It is very possible to go really deep online. There's no question about that. So don't underestimate the power of working this way. It's very tiring and it's very demanding, but it's possible. So to answer the question about knowing, who you truly are, it's not like who you are as a person. So for example, I love apples. I'm not going to put apples on my website, right? Or, I love wearing, flowy dresses and, strappy vests in the summer, but I'm not going to show photos like that on my website, right? It's not like a complete collapse of who I am, but it's more how people perceive me. And that's why it's important that you ask those questions. Your website is how people perceive you and the service you offer, your gift. It's not personal about who you are, you know, and, you know, if you are like, of course, yeah. And we do, you know, when we work together, we do a few kind of brand tests, you know, that they give you brand profiles, that they give you a few more answers about how to write your copy and how to, you know, basically build your images. And I think learning your own boundaries, because that is what you're asking really, is something that's going to come from practicing. You know, the more clients you have and the more things that you experience in that interaction is going to give you the answers, but you're going to have to follow through. So for example, I had many people that have come to my program, Your Website School, and, you know, at the beginning they told me, oh, I work with this and that and women and men and dogs and children. And then by the end, they only work with one, menopausal women, for example. So it's like a distillation process, you know. Obviously, you know, when you are in the container of working together and in a group of people, that happens fast, because you go, I don't want to do that anymore. Even the services, I don't want to offer, you know, like me, I don't want to offer graphics for events. I did that. I'm very good at that. I don't want to do that because it doesn't turn me on. And I know I'm not going to do a good job with the fullness of me. I'm going to do a good job because I'm professional and I've done it a million times and I can knock it out, right? And you can continue to do things like that if you want to, but at some point you're going to probably draw a line. So if you are at the starting process, you can say, okay, I offer X, Y, Z to these X, Y, Z people, but I am aiming to offer only X to Y. Okay, so you can continue to offer the 3 services to the 3 types of people, but you're clear that eventually you want to do one-on-one of these 2 things. Does that make sense?
Mm.
Because then you're just kind of energetically building up to where you want to go.
Yeah.
There's very few people that can do everything. There are, but you know, being a small business, I don't recommend it. I recommend, and you know, when you're starting, you just want to, you know, get as many clients as you can as well. So, you know, you're not going to be saying no to loads of people. So it's a kind of, you know, a dance of, you know, moving backwards and forwards, you know, with the boundaries. And unless you had a really, really bad experience about something, you know, I would say, you know, be open basically to listen and to write down. Angela, how long do you go into the session before you think they're not a good match? 15 minutes. Sorry. Yeah, I can tell from the email sometimes as well. I can tell from what they fill in the email. Sometimes I go ahead and I make mistakes, and that's also possible. And I don't feel very good about it myself, not the other person. The other person got a lot out of me, but I feel like, I didn't like that meeting, basically. So, you know, you can feel it yourself, you know, and yeah, it's important that you tune in. So, you know, from a meeting like that, I thought, right, I've got to clarify these things on my website so people cannot even ask for the meeting. They get put off before they ask. And again, it's not a bad thing. You really want to be fine-tuned and, you know, don't put pressure on yourself. It takes time. Does that answer the question, Alexandra?
I think I'll book myself a clarity session. Because for what you just said, everybody is great, because I resonate with pretty much everybody who's attending the the webinar so far. And there's a lot of work. But first and foremost, I think you're right. There's that story about soul brand alignment. We need to know who we are at the core of our being, I suppose, before we can even think about considering offering anything to anyone.
Yeah. And you can discover that, having, kind of guinea pig clients, that it's not something that you have to like sit down and do it all on your own, and work it out. It's not something that you work out. It kind of begins to come out, as you grow.
Yeah, for me personally, there's been years of informal kind of giving advice, mentoring, coaching. But I'm at a stage now and just started literally September an online course to help me out to clarify about my offering. So that's why all this is new. And one of the things as well, like you said, people need to know that we exist.
Yes. I mean, if you're at a point where you cannot, invest in a website just yet, or it's too soon, perhaps, sometimes people are not quite ready for a website. And this goes for you, Diane, and Lavinia. And I imagine, Alexandra, you're already doing this, because if you're in task, you can begin to go to Facebook groups, because there's no kind of networking in person at the moment. And just, begin to connect with people. Go to groups that they feel good. Don't go to all the groups, Go to groups that you feel like, oh, I like it here, kind of thing. Just read through the posts, and maybe begin to comment and maybe begin to participate. Again, it's a way of saying to people, hey, I exist, I'm who I am, and there's usually on all groups, there's usually one day where you can promote your services, or where you can say who you are. They ask you to introduce yourself, and that's a great practice, a great practice to say, like I said at the beginning, I am Nora Zimmerman, I am a soul brand and website designer. It's like I say by heart. And, I work with people that are on a mission, to help people, I don't know, I can make it up, but you know what I mean? You can say what you do and who you work with. And, it's basically, I'm saying it with ease, it takes time, right? But also when you put it on groups, or when you put it on your Facebook feed, if you are on Facebook, or if you are in other kind of, networking situations, you will see the reaction of people. People will say, oh, what is that? Or what do you do? Or you don't get any comments at all. So when I was testing my words, I was testing all sorts, I can't remember what they were, but throughout a period of time, I was testing words. And when I put soul brand alignment, bingo, everybody, was like, yeah, I want that. And it was just, I was offering a soul brand alignment session. Everybody wanted it. And at the time, the words maybe didn't make a lot of sense to me. They were like, well, but that's not just what I do. But because they resonated and they had magnetism, I just began to work with them, and I began to, expand on that. So if you are planting seeds, if you are, like not launching your business yet, practice, just, you're going to make mistakes. So just use the next few months to use words, and to see how they land on people. That is the simplest and most efficient way of learning about who you are and who you're not. And like I said before, ask for feedback. If it's in writing, the better, because then you can read over and over and begin to absorb. And again, the word alignment is something that people said about me. Yes, you just got, the one thing that people always used to say, always, for a long time, was, you really get me. You just get me. You just got exactly what I wanted to say. You got it. you know, it was a logo, it was a brochure, you know, so it's like they're being gotten, it's aligning to the core essence of the brand. So it's just, oh, there's a few messages here. So it's just a bit of it's like you're doing a bit of a detective work on your work. Is there a short, Angela is asking, is there a short set of questions, a process that can clarify the purpose work of a business owner? Yes, those are the questionnaires I use when people join my programs. Yeah, I've got a whole suite of questionnaires. It's not just one question or two questions. Yes. Do you find that much of the business owner's common dialect works on the website? You mean their own words? No. No. How they speak is part of the website. So that's what I do with my clients. I like them to begin to write the words. It doesn't mean that we're going to use everything that they write, but it has to have, again, a flavor, you know. Some people speak a bit slang. Some people add plurals to words that should be singular. You know, some people have like little twangs, you know, that they are very personal. So those things, they should be on the website. I always think it's good, you know, you don't have to be super grammatically correct. And there's a way, some people are very poetic. Some people write, you know, complicated words, you know, so there has to be a flavor of all of that on the website, but not everything about them. No, no. It's just, you know, it's like you are, it's like you've got, the website is like the salad, and then you just sprinkle it with, you know, a few, you know, sesame seeds and, yeah, a pinch of seasoning. I can see the message, yes. Yes. Anything else? Okay. So are you, Diane, on Facebook groups or networking? Can you talk?
Yes, I am in Facebook groups. I was just thinking about for you, what would be the very first thing to do?
Are you if someone wants a session, you know, with you, do you have something that you can offer? Have you got something that you offer?
Yes, I think so. But it's, as I say, it's pretty much a discovery, or a very recent discovery. But I would like to take it further.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to maybe go to other coaches' websites or anyone's website and find a bit of inspiration about how they structure their offering. Because people, when they go to a website, they need to know what they're getting, okay? Even if you just have it on your Facebook, you know? For example, I'm just going to share a post that I did on Facebook. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen so you can see it. That's going to give you an idea of what you need to write for yourself and for others, you know. So, website review strategy sessions. I just wanted to put it out on a post, you know, it's not even on my website. So, first of all, I put feedback because I did loads of these. I just don't promote them at all, website reviews, you know, and their strategy sessions. Website review strategy sessions are great for those business owners that have a website that feels slightly misaligned or clogged up, and you're seeking to tweak, improve, and update your offerings and the flow of it. So I say what they are. Then I say what the problem was. You likely had your website for a while, and yet you're not ready to step into a full new website. If you want, just go to my Facebook and analyze what I wrote. There's a flow. Just begin to analyze and understand how to post. Then you can go, this is not a magic cure, it's simply realignment. So I'm saying now who I want to work with. You must be capable of making changes directly on the website and be open and willing to receive frank and strategic feedback. I don't want people messing around. You do it for me and you move it to the right, right? These are one-off valuable golden sessions. Well, I say so. You know, it's like, I'm confident in this. My feedback is laser sharp, clear, and insightful. I hold you and your clients in the review. So, you know, I'm telling them that we're going to review. So what I'm doing is I'm saying what's going to happen in the session and what we do basically and who it's for. And then I go to the practicalities. It includes 1 hour and a half, la, 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 the price, la, la, la. That's it. So this is an offer. This is a package. You can go to my Facebook and, you know, just use the sequence to describe what you do. It's not complicated. It's just logical. Okay. Or you can go to this page, you know, the Q&A where you signed up, and you can see what it says. It doesn't say much, but it just says what you're going to get. Does that help? So you can begin to do that now. You don't have to even have a website. You can just do it now. You put it on your Facebook, you know, and try. If people don't know, you know, you can just say, PM me. And I think for you that you're starting, you know, Diane and Lavinia, you know, just say, you know, the value of these is £90 per session, whatever the price you want, you know, to aim for. And I'm offering 3 sessions at 100 because I am, you know, looking for, you know, demo clients, you can call them, or, you know, these are taster sessions, you know. So don't just do it for completely free because it's just a little bit too low. And also, if you offer a package of 3 sessions, you also get to, you know, feel what it's like yourself to offer continuity and holding, and people also relax. If it's just a one-off, you have to be very, very experienced and very confident to get them to find results. You see, for example, I can offer the website strategy session and it's a one-off, 1 hour and a half, because I've done it a million times. But if you haven't done these many times, then it's better to spread it. So you can offer 1, 2, 3, and then people, you know, can see the results in a bit of a period of time. And I suppose the same goes for kinesiology. It's exactly the same. You can offer maybe a taster session, you know, for a reduced price, Alex, and then, you know, 3 sessions for a bit more. That is not very far, you know, so people tend to go for the 3. You know, you want to encourage the 3. And I think also this is for, you know, a bit further down the line, you know, you might want to write down the steps of your methodology, Angela. Write them down, because that's what's going to give you the confidence to explain what you do. You don't explain necessarily the methodology, but it just gives you the confidence. So I've done a huge chart, you know, like thousands of times about my process, because my process is long as well. So it was like intake, then, you know, getting to know the client, getting to see what's underneath, you know, then, you know, I do initial visuals, then, you know, reviews, then, you know, second round of visuals, you know, there was like, oh, it was just like a chewing gum. And, you know, you begin to kind of almost, you know, make it more efficient. So it's not so, you know, long and long-winded, you know, in your head. And put it down again. And sometimes when I'm doing sales calls, I have my methodology in front of me because people ask me, how does it work? So I've got step 1, step 2, and now I think it's only 4. Does that help?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome. So any burning questions before we go? Oh, there's something on the chat. Oh, no, that's fine. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here and asking your questions and joining me here. Please do reach out if you have any questions or if there's anything, you know, that needs clarifying. I'll be very happy to help.
Thank you, Nora.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Nice to see everyone. Good luck.
Bye.